man, I seen that dude eyes was rolling in the back of his head. Like I'm seeing all the different things on the internet and stuff like that. I'm seeing everybody complaining, everybody talking about how long, you know, the count was, or why he didn't immediately start counting, and different things like that. You know what I mean? And this is boxing. You just have to you roll with the punches, man. Like
we unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Deontay Wilder says he believes Tyson Fury was given more of an opportunity in the 12th round when he got knocked out unconscious. He was given a long count. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below. Please use my link. It does help the channel. We working. Deontay Wilder was on the Rich Eisen show, and I'm going to read some quotes from him, give some more of my thoughts. Deontay the Braun Bomber Wilder, WBC champion of the world. He said, in the first fight, it was a controversial draw with me knocking Fury down and him getting up. It gave people expectations on what to see in the second fight. The first fight lived up to the hype, and the second one will live up to it as well. I think Tyson Fury was given more time than needed. Even the referee said he went out in the spirit of boxing and not the rules, and that he went for what was best for boxing. I said, sir, that's not your job. Your job is simple. My 2-year-old can do it, and that's to count. Unfortunately, you had to count somebody out. With the fight being so exciting and so big, he made an emotional decision, but on the other hand, it was a controversial decision as well. It made a great fight, and it made the hype for the second fight even better. So it's like a give and take type of thing. So we took that and ran with it, and here we are now. It was amazing to see, you know, Tyson Fury getting up from the 12th round. He said that it looked like a murder scene. Most of the time, when I put somebody on the canvas, they're not getting up. Their body does weird things when they're on the canvas. But this specific time, Tyson Fury got up. Looking upon that, when I dropped him, I was looking over and I could see his eyes in the back of his head, and his body was on the canvas like a murder scene. So when you're seeing that, you're thinking it's over. I'm blowing kisses at my wife and doing different things to the audience or whatever. And then to turn around and see him rise from the dead, it was just surprising to me, but inside I was overwhelmed. End quote. Right? I agree with Wilder. Like, before, I told you guys on my channel, I said the fight, I seen a draw. That's what I really seen. Because people don't understand, and this is why I don't like talking with a bunch of people who don't really follow the sport of boxing and only tune in for fights like this that are big, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the rules. And just like Wilder saying Jack Reese did, that's what the fans do. They do an emotional decision without having any knowledge of how boxing is even scored, you know. And people are going off of the fact that Tyson Fury outboxed Wilder in the middle rounds, and Wilder wasn't connecting like he wanted to in those rounds. But boxing is a scoring-based system, and in a 12-round fight, when you have 2 knockdowns, then you almost doubled up in a sense, and it's like you won instead of 2 times 2. So you 2x your results with 10-8 rounds when your opponent doesn't knock you down, because you had a 10-8 round instead of a 10-9 round. So Tyson Fury, when he was outboxing Wilder, 10-9 round, 10-9 round, and you add these scores up, and then you look at Wilder was able to closed the gap with 2 knockdowns. That's why you don't get knocked down late if you could help it, because this is what can happen. Again, it's 2 rounds that he won with the knockdowns, but you just 2 extra results. It's like if you ever play a slot machine and they say, oh, you won $50, and then you see a little 2x next to it, then they give you 2 times your prize. So you didn't win $50, you won $100. Boxing, since it's a mathematical scoring where fight cards are tabulated and calculated, it's the same thing. And Tyson Fury, for the better part of the first 4 rounds, really didn't do much offensively. He was feinting and moving and setting up his game plan, staying out of some of the danger that Wilder's known for. So I don't feel like Tyson Fury had this masterclass boxing that people talked about. Did he box well? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't no 10 rounds to 2 as he has stated. You know, he won 10 rounds. Get out of here. And like I said, Wilder was able to bridge the gap with a pivotal knockdown, not 1 but 2 in a late portion of the fight. So you couple that with the fact that the first couple of rounds were Wilder was landing some really good shots, body shots and stuff, as Tyson Fury was feinting and not really being offensive. So the reason Tyson Fury has to sound, and his fans have to sound so extreme and say he won 10 rounds to 2, because if you look at scorecard wise, if he were to lose, like if you gave Wilder any of the early rounds, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then that means Tyson Fury would lose once you add Wilder's knockout. So now he has to speak on this far-fetched notion that he bodied Wilder for 10 rounds, which isn't what happened. Watch the first 4 rounds and tell me the great shots that Tyson Fury was landing. Like, he never even hurt Wilder in the fight, you know, especially not in the first 4 rounds. So where was this masterclass boxing? But once Tyson Fury got in a rhythm and Wilder was missing, that's when it became good boxing from Tyson Fury. But beyond that, when you see someone's eyes rolling in the back of their head, the ref should stop it. End of story. We've seen too many deaths in boxing, Patrick Days and Maxim Dadashev. So Jack Reese really should have stopped it. It doesn't matter how fun the fight was. This is somebody's life, and this is somebody's safety and health, and somebody with a family and wife and kids. So realistically, when that happens, when you fall, when you're 6'9", 265 plus, and you fall to the canvas like that, and your eyes are rolling in the back of your head, Tyson Fury admittedly was unconscious. He was just on the ground breathing. That looked like Canelo versus Amir Khan. You know, it looked bad. There's no reason to even administer a count. But Jack Reese, you know, he did it. He's the, you know, person in charge. And as a result, Tyson Fury somehow got up at the end, and then, you know, it made for a cinematic type of dramatic conclusion to it. But ref discretion wise, you're not even going to put the fighter through that. He already got dropped. That was his first mistake, getting dropped in round 9 or whatever it was when he was boxing well. Then he got destroyed even worse with a 2-piece, and he was unconscious. It doesn't matter how well you do. That's boxing. You know, it don't matter how well you do for 11 rounds. I seen Mickey Bay beat John Molina thoroughly, but he got careless and got caught in the wrong plan. Round 12, got knocked out. You know, you can't give him more chances. And like, I wish referees would stop doing that. Like, even the Carlos Balderas fight. I was at that fight. Balderas, he really got knocked out twice, basically. Because the dude from Mexico knocked him out. He was unconscious, you know, at least for a period of time. And somehow he rose to his feet, just like Tyson Fury. And he was put through more pain. You know, he showed some heart. But then he really got knocked out a second time. So it's just, that makes it more damaging to the fighter. Henceforth, why Tyson Fury signed this new promotional deal with Top Rank and ESPN, and they put him in with guys that no one had heard of, you know, because they knew that Wilder 12th round especially was sinister, and they didn't want to put him in with no major punchers. Top Rank got Oscar Rivas, but they made Oscar Rivas versus Dillian White. That a better fight would have been Tyson Fury and Oscar Rivas, or Luis Ortiz, or anybody. Brian Jennings, he's with Top Rank, but they didn't make none of those fights. Daniel Dubois, he's with Frank Warren. They didn't want to make none of those fights because they know Wilder's power is for real, and they want to give Tyson Fury a chance to declutter his mind and get unscrambled. That's the reality of it. So even though I said that I felt the fight was a draw because of scoring, the more and more I thought about it and seen people like talking about it, I kept thinking, and I'm like, you know what? At what point would a ref actually stop it then? You know what I'm saying? Like, it should have been stopped. So Wilder should have I knocked out everybody except for Stavern in the first fight, which he came back and knocked him out. That's the reality of it, and I'm not saying as far as Jack Reese, but when it comes to boxing media and stuff, if Wilder was a white fighter like Tommy Morrison and Tyson Fury was black and then that happened to him, bro, most of these people would be like, oh, that was a knockout, and Tommy Morrison, Wilder was robbed of an opportunity. If you just switch the role, you already know how people would act. You know what I'm saying? Because Floyd Mayweather beat guys like Castillo and Maidana. Andre Ward beat guys like Kovalev. Good fights, chippy fights, close fights. And even through victory, you see the racists in old media, they don't give them credit. Oh, no, they lost. They really lost. So can you imagine if what should have been a knockout slipped away because the ref gave, a long count and made an emotional decision to allow it to keep going when you see a guy's eyes rolling in their head? Like, just answer this question. Think about conventional wisdom. You're a referee. Somebody's eyes are rolling in the back of their head and they're on the ground versus a lethal, notorious puncher. Why would you even administer a count? Most people just see the subject looking deceased and they wave it off of that, just because it wouldn't really be in your best interest to go back in with that puncher again when you went out like that. Some guys that they get knocked out, it's like these are vicious knockouts. Like, this is not like he got knocked down. There's hard knockdowns, but he was unconscious. He admits this. So I can't presume that many other refs probably would have made that decision that night to allow it to keep going. That was kind of like almost like a selfish move from Jack Reese, if you think about it, in terms of like, oh, it's been such a good fight, so it was an emotional decision. It's been a good fight. Tyson Fury's a respected guy. Let me give him an opportunity. But realistically, you certain professions, your emotion, you have to curb that. Like, if I'm a 911 dispatcher and someone calls, hey, 911, they're breaking into my house, please help, please help. You got to get them calm. You can't be like, oh my God, he's in there. He got a knife. You're going to panic them worse. You can't do that. Emotion, you got to find a way, or you shouldn't be in that profession. If you can't curb your emotion, you got someone panic stricken already because they're going through a life-threatening occurrence, and then the 911 operator is making you more panicked, agitating you and scaring you more. That doesn't work. So certain professions, you can't really afford to be making emotional decisions, as hard as it may be. And I'm not trying to sound like the Terminator or Cutthroat, but that's life. A cop, my brother's a cop. So, in the streets, a decision could cost. That could cost a lot. So he has to make the right executive decisions and not hesitate with them, whatever that decision may be. Let me know what you guys think. Link in the description. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.